Afternoon for the 16-year-old Rio Ngamoa. Huge faith placed in him by his manager Arne Slot. And a huge task for Accrington Stanley, who kick off this Emirates FA Cup third-round tie, attacking the Kop in this first half, where one of their number 11, Josh Woods, stood as a fan when they welcomed Bayer Leverkusen here in the Champions League a couple of months ago.
Yeah, massive occasion for lots of these players. And important for quite a few Liverpool players as well, just to remind Arne Slot of how good they are or can be.
And John Doolan and Accrington Stanley will know that this first quarter of an hour is crucial. Stay in the game, give yourself a platform to believe, something to build on. You know that Arne Slot is expecting Accrington to do much of their best work in the opening stages. He's certainly warned their players against that.
Yeah, you have to say that only complacency would prevent Liverpool from winning this afternoon. You're not always going to be able to dominate and bully these lower league sides in the opening 15 or 20 minutes, but that accumulation of pressure and defensive responsibility and stress usually takes its toll on them later in the matches.
Well, he touches it back. Well, in terms of workload, it's pretty similar what these two sides have had to go through this season. The 30th match in all competitions for Liverpool. Likewise, the 30th for Accrington Stanley. Slightly more resources and less travelling, it has to be said, for Accrington Stanley. Here comes the Hungarian international captain, Dominik Szoboszlai, who was thwarted by Farend Rawson in his first season at the club since making the switch from Morecambe. There is Josh Woods. He is one of a host of Liverpool fans within this Accrington Stanley side. Incidentally, the manager, John Doolan, a lifelong Evertonian.
And his side playing in blue, so he'll be happy with, with that today, won't he? Hoping that he can really stick one on Liverpool, as they say, in these parts.
I wonder how much input he had in the kit change. And Liverpool in their recognisable red today, Accrington in blue. That was not the case last time when they met in 1956. Liverpool weren't allowed to play in red. Harvey Elliott. Szoboszlai lets it run. And Ngamoa. Just for a moment it threatened to open up for the debutant. In by Tsimikas. And helped on its way by Nelson Kumbeni, on loan from Bolton. Endo goes down, got his body between man and ball, and that's what they'll be looking to do. Tyler Walton putting too much pressure on the Japanese international.
Yeah, who's playing at centre-back today. Filled in, of course, in the League Cup tie against Spurs a few days back in that position. Take him some time to get accustomed to that role, and good to see that the Accrington forwards not paying too much respect, chasing down those balls early. And even if you commit one or two fouls, just reminds Liverpool they can't be too casual defensively.
Yeah, Joe Gomez, the big absentee in terms of availability for this one, but Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, Curtis Jones, all given the afternoon off for Liverpool. Focus very much on this, and Arne Slot keen to make sure it was, but it's hard to stop one eye darting towards their trip to the City ground on Tuesday in the Premier League. The top, or two of the top three going head to head, the only side to beat Liverpool in the league so far this season. Made by Kralini, on loan Evertonian, not his best clearance. The Liverpool captain today, Alexander-Arnold. And Tsimikas. Andy Robertson gets a rest, but is named amongst the Liverpool substitutes. To rise or to wither, that's the challenge for these Accrington Stanley players. As Ngumoa runs into traffic, Morton. And Elliott trying to get it going. Jota didn't get the touch he was hoping for, so it's cleared away by Donald Love. Quansah had to come off early against Spurs due to illness, but thankfully, given the desire to rotate and keep players fresh, he's available today. Crisply into Jota.
Good tackle. Nelson Kumbeni scored the winning penalty against Swindon.
Szoboszlai, another who's been struggling with the lurgy that's been hanging over the Liverpool camp over the last week or so. Harvey Elliott. Alexander-Arnold on by Morton.
Sign of things to come, isn't it? Attack against defence. Just got to maintain patience, Accrington.
Shimikas lofts in a lovely ball. And Sakor was able to get back and frustrate Darwin Núñez. The first opening though for Liverpool.
Real teasing cross, wasn't it, from Kostas Tsimikas? Beautiful ball to the far post. That's a great pick out. Elliott with... That's a great cutback, isn't it? On the slide, on his right foot. And Núñez just doesn't adjust his body quickly enough. In the end, he's almost surprised that the ball gets back to him. So those half chances that he's got to be looking to take this afternoon.
4 goals in 25 appearances this season, Darwin Núñez. Not the sort of numbers that Liverpool want or indeed need from him. The only goal he's scored, Núñez, in his last 11 appearances in all competitions came in the Carabao Cup quarter-final win against Southampton. And Doe also played at centre-half in that match down at St Mary's last month. Quansah taking the opportunity to stride forward. This is Dan Martin. Or
another nervy kick from Billy Crowlin. It's 2 now. Seems to be the only Accrington player at the moment showing those nerves.
We'll get another chance here to get a touch of confidence. Gives a chase for Tyler Walton. Well, Accrington will need to take every bit of encouragement they can as they look to step on here to the Liverpool back line. Quansah. Elliott. And the referee Lewis Smith gives the home side the free kick. I guess if Accrington are looking for crumbs of confidence, they can look at the fact that Liverpool come into this winless in 2 games. That's the first time that it's happened under Arne Slot. John Dolan's side have had a free week to prepare for this, while Liverpool have had that first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final travelling to London, and they were delayed on their return. Their plane back from the capital couldn't take off, so they had to cancel training on Thursday. Here's Szoboszlai. Ngumoa. Showing early ambition.
Yeah, nice tidy control. Not such a big thing in Dutch football, is it, to be playing teenagers? So Arne Slot probably doesn't think too much of this, does he, at all, playing a 16-year-old? 16 and 135 days.
Quite something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he only joined the club in September of last year. Came through for the most part at the Chelsea Academy. As we said already, the youngest Liverpool player in their FA Cup history. He's also the second youngest of all time in the club's history. Jerome Sinclair is the one who has just pipped him.
Yeah, it makes Trey Nyoni on the bench for Liverpool at 17 years of age seem like a veteran, doesn't he?
It does.
Made a few appearances over the last couple of campaigns.
Yeah, Nyoni, another one who got a run out in that position, actually, that N'Gamora is playing today at St Mary's. Alexander-Arnold. Kwanzaa. Plenty of cup experience. He was involved in Liverpool's Carabao Cup winning side when the kids had to take on Chelsea and won, courtesy of Virgil van Dijk's header. That was at Wembley last February. Here's Szoboszlai, looking to cushion it in for Trent Alexander-Arnold, away by Kumbeni, but straight to Wataru Endo. N'Gamora. He's worked it out to Tsimikas. Still Kostas Tsimikas. Szoboszlai lets it run. Trent Alexander-Arnold draws the save from Krellin, and it's over from Darwin Núñez.
And it shouldn't have been unconventional from the Accrington goalkeeper, Billy Krellin, but he got the save, or made the save. Terrific hit, isn't it, from Alexander-Arnold? Good pick out, nice little dummy left by Dominic Szoboszlai. Núñez has got to keep that down. He's got to get his foot over that football. It's a real casual attempt to try and hit it. It's a poor effort, really. If the goalkeeper was smart enough yet, just doesn't turn his body. No real conviction in that attempt to shoot. Much better chance in the first one, which came at him pretty quickly. That one he should have done a lot better with.
More than a hint of the David De Gea playbook about the way that Billy Krellin made that save.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10 that's going to be a pure strike from Alexander-Arnold. And it was. Good stop.
A lot of speculation over the future of Harvey Elliott at Anfield, given that he can't really force his way into the first team reckoning under Arne Slot, partly because of injury, but he's been fit for a while now. This is just his 10th appearance of the season in all competitions. Wally, nice give and go. The blue shirts are getting forward here. Sean Wally, opportunity knocks. Kept alive, but Szoboszlai is back to help out. It was Josh Woods who got it back across goal.
Did well, Sean Wally. Nice little cut back inside. It's like he was going for goal as well. He had lots of blue shirts in the Liverpool penalty area.
Endo. And Kevin Kelleher, who in the absence of Alisson was the regular #1. Distinguished service. He starts off this move that Elliott continues. Into N'Gamora. Well kept in by Harvey Elliott.
I think that was a shot or an attempt, like a side foot cross from N'Gamora. It's a buzz when he gets the ball, isn't it? The Anfield crowd are expectant of the young kid.
Jota. Since that injury against Chelsea back in October, he'd only started one game before today, and that was the one on Wednesday against Spurs. So good to get some more football in his legs as he starts to build up towards full fitness. Here he is again, the Portuguese. Szoboszlai. Tsimikas. Ngamoa. Still Ngamoa, dancing feet, Szoboszlai. Tsimikas. Corner for Liverpool.
Yeah, did well to block it out in the end, didn't they, Accrington? Stuck to their task, nobody dived in too early on young Ngamoa. Most of the good stuff from Liverpool has come down this left side so far, with the youngster being involved.
He's certainly not overawed by the occasion, isn't he? His first start in front of just over 60,000 people in here. That's in by Tsimikas, it's met by Rawson. Szoboszlai.
Yeah, the old man couldn't get there any more quickly than that, could he? Sean Wally. Yeah, he was never letting go of that shirt. That smile says it all. Between penalty spot and 6-yard box.
The overhit. Dan Martin will help it on its way. Out of play for a Liverpool corner. Martin, the beneficiary of Liam Coyle being left out of this Accrington side. His first FA Cup appearance this season, the 22-year-old. Tsimikas in, met by Wally. Tyler Morton. And here's Elliott. Gives Nunez a chase. Alexander-Arnold. A lovely looking ball that was. It was read by Zach Orr. And by Kumbeni. Here's Wally. Wally into the middle. Tsimikas was there before it could get through to the onrushing Tyler Walton.
That's their best move of the match. Kumbeni with a lovely ball. Just about onside, I think, Sean Wally. And once again, the decision making in the final third from the captain is pretty good. Nice touch and then the early cross.
So in front of the Kop at Anfield, the first corner for League Two Accrington Stanley. Wally to take. Awkward for Kevin Kelleher. He did well, and I think he's going to be the beneficiary of a free kick here. Woods adjudged to have fouled the Irishman.
Teasing corner that one, wasn't it? Doesn't really get himself up off the ground. Kevin Kelleher. Yeah, not too high. Didn't see anything wrong with that. There was contact after he's already punched the ball. Not that much either.
Well, Woods got up well, didn't he? And came down with a bang. That's why he's had the wind slightly taken out of his sails. He's one of the contributors in terms of scoring in this cup run that they've had. They played 2 games so far to set up this third round tie at Anfield, Accrington Stanley. One against Rushall Olympic in the 7th tier of English football. They won that one 2-0, and Josh Woods, one of the scorers there. And the last one a 2-all draw against fellow League Two side Swindon Town, which they edged on penalties in the end. A reminder that under the new setup this season in the Emirates FA Cup, there are no replays. It is all to be decided here on the day. Extra time and penalties if required.
Well, they're going for this high press, but I'll be advocating this, to be honest. Liverpool they're patient enough. Eventually they'll find their way through it. Just save energy, just get back 10-15 yards at your halfway line. Start to press from there. Not likely to discourage one of the best sides in the country and playing their game. They will get through you, like I said, at some point.
And yes, was clipped there by Donald Love.
Oh yeah, did catch him. It'll be very painful. Studs on the top of the boot.
Love, the centre half today, who started off his career at Manchester United. It's taken him to Sunderland, Shrewsbury, Salford as well. Last couple of seasons at Morecambe. Stanley was talking about how he wasn't sure exactly how Accrington Stanley would approach this in terms of sitting back in a low block and coming onto them. Well, we've seen a certain degree of ambition stroke foolhardiness from the men in blue.
Actually likely to be more vulnerable, Bill, when they get a little bit of possession. They've not had really any control. They're not strung together 5 or 6 passes in the middle of the park. It's been a quick counter. That last opportunity they had, which led to the corner, that was a sign. 1 or 2 passes, then quickly get it in behind. The fullbacks, if you can.
Well, just as Liverpool since 2024 turned into 2025 haven't been able to find a win, that 2-2 draw here against Manchester United, then the slightly controversial defeat, it has to be said, in the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. It's been the opposite end of the scale for Accrington Stanley. They couldn't buy a win in the closing months of the last calendar year, but back-to-back wins to kick off this year has taken them away from trouble. 5 places between themselves now and the bottom of the League Two table. Survival very much the order of the day, but this is a glistening bonus, this FA Cup run, and in particular this tie here at Anfield. Halfway through the first half, still Liverpool 0, Accrington Stanley 0. That will be a free kick for Accrington Stanley. The challenge on Ash Hunter.
Still a big piece of skill. Look at that, right on the touchline.
I think so far Rio and Gamoa is probably doing everything that his manager would want him to. You can almost hear the words, go out there, enjoy yourself, play your own game. He's doing all of those things, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's in the same boat as the Accrington players, really. Absolutely no pressure. There'll be some expectancy on his part, of course, his family, and imagine the academy staff as well, who've spent quite a few months looking after him. But he shouldn't feel too much pressure at all. And for some of these young kids as well, you know, they actually, when they get onto the big stage, they train with the first team, albeit he's not at the football club for that long. For them, it's just an extension of training, really. They don't really feel too much pressure. Maybe Johan Cruyff said the same thing when he was thrust into the Ajax team as a teenager. It felt very normal around the big boys in the first team.
And if there are nerves, he's doing pretty well to disguise them. No surprise to see Liverpool particularly dominant in the passing statistics in terms of numbers and indeed the accuracy of them.
One thing we've learned about this competition, Bill, in over many years, is that you cannot take anything for granted at all, can you? And this match has to be won by Liverpool if they are to win it, of course. They'll have to play well enough.
And Gamoa. Here's Morton. Szoboszlai. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Elliott. It's back with the captain, Alexander-Arnold. Quite often when you see sides defending here at Anfield, you see everyone behind the ball, but they're leaving Sean Whalley up the pitch to give them an out pull if they can get hold of the ball. Kwanzaa. Alexander-Arnold. Tsimikas. Hung up beautifully. Jota won't get that before the Accrington rear guard do. I think the final touch came off Donald Love. Krellin in close attendance as well.
Yeah, once again it's Kostas Tsimikas with that ball into the box. Just needed that fractionally forward. Another yard or so would have made it a little bit easier for Morton or Elliott to head that one back across goal. Jota wasn't quite in position anyway.
Tsimikas with the corner. And the header wide. Taro Endo. I say header.
If he scored from a corner, the Accrington bench wouldn't be happy about that, would they?
No. Well, there's Andy Holt, the chairman of Accrington Stanley. Real personality in League Two football, fights for the cause, and he's due to stand down at the end of the season.
He's a happy man today, regardless, isn't he? Nice windfall for the club.
Absolutely. Yeah, the average attendance at the Crown Ground, or the Wham Stadium as it's known now, 2,500. They're over 60 inside here. I think it's right, they split the gate receipts today.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the split is these days. Once upon a time was it 50-50? I'm going back a long time ago now, but I'd say there'll be the coffers will be bulging after this.
And if they can get through to the next round, well, if. A lot of work to do for us to even consider that. But at the moment, frustrating. The number one side in the Premier League and the number one side in the Champions League.
That's a free kick, but rather theatrical fall from Tyler Walters. I think he was grateful for the contact in the end, running out of space and indeed support. Well, the best thing from a neutral's point of view would be an Accrington goal, wouldn't it? That would really give us something extra special to talk about. These are good chances for the League Two side.
Ben Woods with his right arm raised. Tsimikas not fully away yet. Taken by Ngamoa. Szoboszlai threaded it neatly through and helped on here towards Darwin Núñez, who has Jota in the middle, and Liverpool have the lead. A devastating counter-attack from the men in red. We've seen it time and time again. And Accrington Stanley fall into the trap, and Diogo Jota gives them the lead.
And for Jota, that's a simple enough chance to take in the end, isn't it? As I said earlier, Bill, the lower league sides are more vulnerable when they are attacking. That inability to be able to stay with the more powerful top sides is clearly evident on a counter-attack. Super ball in from Darwin Núñez, and Jota just had to keep his composure, concentration. Nice early ball from Szoboszlai when he got the chance. Alexander-Arnold doesn't need the second touch, Neither does Nunez. And Jota no option but to make it 3-1 touches on the spin. Simple enough. Finally, they go ahead.
It would be a stretch to say it was getting in any way nervous around Anfield, but the longer it goes on at 0-0, no longer. Liverpool noses in front just ahead of the half-hour mark. Diogo Jota has his 7th goal of the season, and after scoring off the bench since his return from injury against Fulham and West Ham, he has one from the start here in the FA Cup. And how Accrington Stanley respond to going behind here is going to be key. Sides with loftier reputations than that of John Doolan's have folded when Liverpool start to flex their muscles.
Yeah, he would have been well aware that his side would have been vulnerable on a counter-attack, but I mean, what do? Do you keep 4 or 5 players outside of the box and try and defend it, ring fence it, and you'd be accused of showing a lack of ambition when you get the one or two of the few opportunities you're likely to get from set pieces. So I can't blame them for flooding the box with blue shirts. Always going to be difficult then to recover.
Pressure on Kelleher, but he's still managed to get it up to the goal scorer Jota. He gets it back from Nunez before Farrand Rawson slides in. And Gamoa. They're not just doubling up on the 16-year-old, they're tripling up, aren't they? 3 players there to try and keep a lid on him.
And very quickly as well. Clearly they must be aware of the danger. If he's allowed to attack the fullback, Donald Love, one-on-one. Even Josh Woods is all the way back there at the moment.
That's the danger, isn't it? As Liverpool take the higher ground in pretty much every statistical department, you just retreat.
Well, first order of the day for Arne Slot is to win, of course, isn't it? To impress upon his players that they have to play well enough. This won't be gifted to them. And secondly, he would like a comfortable enough scoreline approaching half-time that he can think about giving some more game time to 1 or 2 other players who've not seen too much action this season. Federico Chiesa in particular.
I think the Liverpool fans would love to have a chance to have a look at him properly. His Liverpool career, for one reason or another, mostly injury, hasn't really taken off, hence why he's being linked with a move away. Endo. Alexander-Arnold. Coming together between Jota and Zach Orr.
No strangers to the physical aspects of the game is Diogo Jota. I saw him roughing it with Wolverhampton Wanderers in a couple of Midlands derbies against Birmingham, I think it was, a couple of years ago. I thought this guy can handle himself in English football, no doubt about that. Gave as good as he got
Yeah, he had a baptism, didn't he, in the Championship when he first came to English football, helping Nuno Espirito Santo's side to a very impressive title before Liverpool came a-calling. Some side that, they had Ruben Neves in the midfield as well, didn't they?
Good team, very good team.
Alexander-Arnold. Ten to play on the first half. That sees Liverpool lead 1-0, courtesy of that Diogo Jota goal. Szoboszlai. Having been picked off once on the counter, it's a big question mark for John Dool, isn't it? How do you get the correct balance between trying to find a way back into the match without leaving yourself open? They're up against the second best defence in the Premier League, and they themselves have the second worst defence in League Two. They say the cup is a leveller. There are a lot of things that need to level out here if Accrington are going to get back into it. Lovely little chip on by Jota. Now Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, needed a better pass. Morton was at full stretch, wasn't able to just clip that one 3 or 4 yards further forward. Yeah, not easy. In the end, just crowded out to rush the shot in the end, Harvey Elliott. It's not been a half full of chances, has it, for Liverpool?
Wally looking for a way out, denied by Tsimikas. Elliott.
Well, that's a kind of sloppy giveaway, that on a slot. Will not like at all. Under no pressure. Straight back to Accrington.
And Gamoa would slid in. Jota. Alexander-Arnold's run tracked by Wally. Here's Ben Woods. The Accrington Stanley fans, around 3,000 of them, we're told, behind the goal that Liverpool attack. Enjoyed that little chop by Zach Orr.
They'd love to score at the Cop End, that's for sure, Accrington. Be moments in their history, whichever player could manage it.
Szoboszlai going down in instalments, and the referee Lewis Smith didn't see a foul in that. No VAR, by the way, until the 5th round of the Emirates FA Cup this season. They've tweaked the regulations in that respect. And that's a decent effort from range by Tyler Morton.
Yeah, quite well hit, but very ambitious. Diogo Jota makes a good run through. I mean, I'm not sure I was going to find him, to be honest. The Portuguese international not happy, but it would have been a miracle pass to get that through the middle.
Wally. Kwanzaa. Tsimikas. And Alexander-Arnold. Plenty of runners for Jota to seek. One of them is Nunez. Morton. Alexander-Arnold was the focus of a lot of the post-match attention the last time he was in action here at Anfield. Been the conduit for frustrations in terms of not winning against Manchester United, especially with the links away from the club, which will not go away.
No, a pretty unnecessary distraction, I think myself.
Jota. Nunez. Well over it goes, but it did take a touch on the way through, so Liverpool have another corner.
I don't blame him for turning and shooting. He's had two good chances already. Just needs to shift that ball a little bit. Yeah, Harvey Elliott wanted that square pass and visibly showing his frustration. That's something that, once again, honestly, that won't be happy to see. If the team keep their composure, then there's quite a few goals, and Nunez would expect to be scoring at least one today.
Tsimikas in, away by Rawson for Accrington Stanley. A possibility for Wally, although he's outnumbered and outmaneuvered by Elliott, who's snapped in strongly. Benny dispossessed. Now Szoboszlai for Liverpool. Szoboszlai trying to thread it through. There were two ahead of him who might have been recipients. Elliott. And out by Woods from the chest down by Farron Rawson.
Fans will shout for anything, won't they? Doing okay, Zakor, alongside Farron Rawson. Not had too much to deal with actually in the middle of the park, and Nunez is in the middle of their defence. They've not been pulled out of their position. The fullbacks have not been overstressed.
Tsimikas. N'Gamoa. Endo. Morton.
This is more like the position I thought that Accrington would find themselves in, or decide to put themselves in, I should say. 10 outfield players behind the ball, just soaking up whatever Liverpool could throw at them, and in truth it's not been too much, has it, this first half? But enough to lead. He needs at least 35 minutes, I would suggest, today, Federico Chiesa. And I would have been minded as well, Bill, to actually start him. I know, as you said, he's missed a little bit of training this week, but when everybody's cold at the start of the game, it's a little bit easier for you to play your way into it. Coming on at half-time, for example, or indeed 10 minutes into the second half, it's a bit more difficult. There's more stress on you to try and actually impose yourself on the game.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since he came on at Southampton for a cameo. Here's N'Gamoa. Shot blocked away to Morton. Now Szoboszlai. Alexander-Arnold! An absolute peach from the Liverpool captain. There might be some doubts about his form, but there are no doubts about his quality. That is top draw, and that is 2-0 for Liverpool just before half-time.
Second goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yes, that really was a thing of beauty. Time and space afforded to the Liverpool captain. He needs very little to produce moments of magic like this. Yeah, a nice early setter from Szoboszlai. You've got to get closer to him. A few strikers of the ball as clean as him in world football. Yeah, that's measured. Not too hard, concentrated on the technique. And got that elevation. I mean, it takes a lot, doesn't it, to be able to get it up and over any goalkeeper from that range. In off the post, pretty much unstoppable.
The smile back on the face of Liverpool's number 66, and they are en route now, surely, to the fourth round. There's a mountainous task for Accrington Stanley to retrieve anything from this. It's a bruising time to concede. It's a brilliant goal to concede.
Yeah, that just seriously flattens the team talk at half-time from John Doolan. It would have been positive going in at 1-0, saying we've got a chance. A bit of arrogance, complacency on their part. We can get back on level terms. It's slightly different now, I'm afraid.
That's his first Anfield goal of the season. His only previous one was away at West Ham in that 5-0 win. So Liverpool in the driving seat, and their captain has put them there. A fabulous strike on the stroke of half-time. Changes afoot at half-time. Federico Chiesa, lesser spotted. He's only made 4 appearances for Liverpool before today. Well, he's going to come on for number 5, replacing Dominic Szoboszlai. It will mean a lot to that man, the number 6 for Accrington Stanley, Liam Coyle, born Liverpool, the former trainee here at Anfield. Went to the Champions League final as a fan. He's on for the second half in one of a couple of changes made by John Doolan. The other has seen the introduction of Alex Henderson for Ash Hunter. Alexander-Arnold looking for Nunez. Nunez looking for a way through. Enough blue shirts back there to deny. But here's Chiesa, side netting. Did it take a touch on the way through?
Looked like it. Took too long, Chiesa. Why that pause was there. He should have just hit it first time. Of course, never easy when you come on a sub. This is good play initially from Darwin Nunez. Works himself into an opportunity. Good stop. Nice strong hand from Billy Crellin. And there Chiesa. There we go. Just hit the ball. Okay, perhaps a little bit of a nudge from his teammate, actually, hand in the back. That just put him off his stride.
Alexander-Arnold with the corner. Just over Kwanzaa, who'd made a surge into the box. The experienced Wally up on the way as far as Shimikas. And the referee Lewis Smith has pulled things back for this injury, as we see confirmation of those 2 Accrington Stanley changes. Alex Henderson coming on. He made his FA Cup debut this season in the last round. He's one of those who's come through the ranks at Accrington Stanley, and this is why Darwin Nunez is in bother. There are a cluster of Accrington Stanley players around him. Donald Love was there. Farrand Rawson was there. As we see the 20-year-old rather thrown on for the second half here at Anfield.
Yeah, difficult to actually see what happened to Darwin Nunez. He was trodden on just as he was knocked off balance, bodily contact. Sometimes you can twist your ankle like that. I'm sure we'll get another view. The fans like him, and they are desperate for him to do well, to get a couple of goals, to really get up and running, and he's shown glimpses since his arrival.
He scored some big goals this season. Remember the one in the Champions League away at Leipzig, the only goal of the game. When he's hot, and
yeah,
he always gives you 110%, wears his heart on his sleeves. That's why the fans like him, I guess.
There have been times over the last couple of campaigns and the fans thought they were going to see the very best of him. The reason why Liverpool forked out so much money from him initially. That brace at Newcastle last season, they salvaged the game with 10 men, I think it was, as well.
Yeah.
Just never kicked on from there, continued that good form.
Here's a reminder of the lineups for you. Liverpool, who coming into this before the half-time introduction of Chiesa, had made 8 changes from the side that were edged out in the first leg of their League Cup semi-final in Tottenham Hotspur earlier in the week. Sean Whalley. Over 170 games he's played for Accrington Stanley. This his second spell. That's in by Woods, the Liverpool fan. Chiesa has missed it. Ben Woods got his shot away.
Chiesa did well to actually pull his hand away.
Ben Woods on the ball again for Accrington Stanley to Whalley. Henderson. Still going, Henderson. It's almost like he wasn't expecting to be by the time he got into the Liverpool box. Endo. Jota, the scorer of the Liverpool first. And here's Alexander-Arnold, the scorer of the second. To the half-time substitute, Chiesa. And up invitingly, but no one waiting in the middle. Walton. Josh Woods. He's one of those Accrington players who will have all his friends and family in the stands here watching on. Most of them wearing red.
Yeah, big Liverpool fan. Would have been dreaming last night about a chance to score today.
Player who grew up dreaming of wearing red and playing here at Anfield for the home side. Quansah. A lot's been made, hasn't it, of the slightly more conservative nature of Arne Slot this season in terms of game management being more effective. It's going to be interesting to see the Liverpool approach in this second period.
I don't think anything will change, to be honest. They'll continue to play at their own tempo. They can't be hurried into doing things that they wouldn't do ordinarily by Accrington. There's too many levels between them. And I think Arne Slot would like a few spells where the team can really put their foot on the gas and have a 10-minute period like this in the second half. You'd imagine they'll completely take the game away. But hard, you know, mentally for the players to be able to rise to each occasion, no matter the stage.
Well, it's a crazily busy schedule that awaits Liverpool for the rest of this month. 2 Champions League games to fit in, even though they've effectively qualified from that. The way that players perform here will give a pointer to Arne Slot as to whether he can trust them with the workload there. Of course, there's that big trip to the City Ground next week, where I would suggest we will probably see the likes of the absent Virgil van Dijk, Salah, Gakpo and co.
Oh, for sure. That's like an old school fixture, isn't it? Liverpool against Forest in the late 70s, early 80s. A match that was always one to salivate over.
When there was only one side in the then European Cup Champions League as it is now, and Nottingham Forest knocked Liverpool out, didn't they? Liverpool, European champions.
Yeah, in the first round.
Yeah. Really neat interplay. This is what Arne Slot are looking for. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Orr slid in. Away by Orr, but back it comes from Elliott. Morton. And Rawson. Away for Accrington Stanley.
Yeah, some frustration thrown by Trent Alexander-Arnold. He wasn't able to get his pass away, just got stuck underneath him a little bit, didn't it, the ball? It's a sign, isn't it, when there's the tempo's raised and a quick interchange from the superior players. Chances, you'd imagine, will never be far away.
Swept on beautifully by Alexander-Arnold for Nunez. Chiesa, Nunez, Henderson.
Needs to busy himself into the game, Federico Chiesa. Go looking for work.
Josh Woods. Corner kick for Accrington Stanley.
They were defensively, set pieces. That's to Accrington, by the way, not Liverpool. We'll be, of course, looking to clear this as quickly as possible.
In by Liam Coyle. Josh Woods. Jota behind for another Accrington corner. The 2 Liverpool lads combining for Accrington Stanley there.
Yeah, dropping ball. Just not quite low enough for him to take a step back and then try and volley it back across.
Definitely wasn't in the quadrant, but Accrington allowed to take it on. Wally has it back for Woods, who rattles the crossbar. Well, you talked about the Liverpool fan wanting to score at Anfield for Accrington Stanley. He very nearly did that.
Well, that one was hit and stayed hit. That was a terrific strike, just dipping a little bit, and Keller had gotten himself across, but the ball just as if he almost thought he was going over the Liverpool goalkeeper. I'm not sure he could have done anything about it if it was 6 inches lower. Super strike.
Oh yeah. Well, he'll be able to tell his friends and family, his grandchildren, about the time he nearly scored at Anfield.
Yeah. It's a story, isn't it? Not a great one, but not bad.
Better than most have, that's true. Here's Shimikas now for Liverpool. Just a little over-eager there, Henderson, stretching into Harvey Elliott. Slot will be relieved to see that so far it hasn't really been one of those games where the League Two side looked to bridge the gap with physicality, although Harvey Elliott on the ground, given his injury history, is never a pretty sight.
I've been there with ankle injuries. They are horrible ones to deal with. You wouldn't really risk it if there's a chance of further damage to Harvey Elliott. And if you plan to give him another 20 or so minutes. Now, to be honest, the way he's gingerly making his way to his feet, you say, you know what, that's enough for you, let's get you off. And any inflammation building up over the next few minutes.
Well, let's hope this isn't as serious as it potentially appears for Harvey Elliott. Not a man moving comfortably by any means as he makes his way off on this near side. Liverpool had already prepared a double change, which didn't involve Harvey Elliott. Interesting to see whether he's factored into the thinking here. Well, off comes Tyler Morton. And he will be replaced by James McConnell, the 20-year-old who came through the youth system at Sunderland but has started to make his way with the Liverpool first team. We saw him come on as substitute in the League Cup quarter-final. He comes on here in the FA Cup third round, and Trent Alexander-Arnold's afternoon work is done, and Conor Bradley his replacement. It's worth another look at his party piece, isn't it?
Absolutely, a terrific strike. And he does this against top-level opposition. Very pleased with his afternoon's efforts, and of course if the team can go on and get an even more convincing scoreline, then doubly happy.
Well, given the time on the clock, almost exactly on the hour mark, you would suspect that's a premeditated change from Arne Slot. A stage of the season where it's all about managing minutes. Speaking of which, Harvey Elliott, which is a good sight to see, is back out there for now anyway. Of the big hitters, the ones you'd expect to be in the side on Tuesday night at the City Ground: Luis Diaz, Alexis McAllister, Andy Robertson, all available should they be needed from the bench. Movement on that Accrington bench. I can see Seamus Keneally and Conor O'Brien stripped and ready for action, so John Doolan's going to shake things up before too long. Zach Orr. Josh Woods. Offside. The flag quickly up against Tyler Walton.
Oh, he wasn't. Not even close to being offside.
Andrew Fox, the assistant on the far side. A reminder that VAR is not in operation at this stage. If it were this time last year, it would have been, but such as the regulation's been tweaked. So changes up for Accrington. Stanley. Dan Martin and Josh Woods withdrawn, and on come Seamus Keneally and Conor O'Brien.
Substitution, 38, Conor O'Brien, 39, Josh Woods.
Seamus Keneally is one of the long-serving foot soldiers of Accrington Stanley in his 11th season at the club now. And as he has done in both round 1 and round 2, he's come off the bench. But unlike in the previous rounds, Accrington are going to struggle to manoeuvre a winning position out of this.
Yeah, I think Jim Doolan was well aware of that once that second goal went in just before half-time. From that moment onwards, I thought he would have been thinking about giving all of the substitutes, or enough of them, the opportunity to play at Anfield.
Yeah, he'd have disappointed a few with his team selection today. The likes of Liam Coyle and Sean Keneally, who both come off the bench, would have been hoping to start, and they'll be hoping to prove a point here. Oh, what a chance! Donald Love coming in and putting it over the bar.
Quickly taken corner kick. Liverpool sleepy defensively, and he should score. He's got to keep that down, completely unmarked, unchallenged. In the end, it's well over the crossbar. What a glorious chance that is. Well, that would have been a story.
No matter what your level, you don't get too many chances here at Anfield when you're taking on Liverpool. And that goes down as a big one. Maybe goes down as the one. Here's Ngamoa. Jota. It's a good turn by McConnell to start that move off. Wally up against Kwanzaa. The old warhorse has a corner for Accrington Stanley.
If they keep plugging away, Bill, who knows, they may get another chance. Donald Love would certainly want to make amends.
Ben Woods didn't quite catch that as he would have hoped. Alex Henderson, and Liverpool, as they did with the first, looked to break quickly. That was the route to the opening goal from Diogo Jota. Elliott seems to be moving freely enough, which is good news for Liverpool. Chiesa. Well, the plan to give Conor Bradley 30 minutes, Trent Alexander-Arnold an hour. It's going to be very interesting to see who is the starting right back at the City Ground, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah. I'm leaning towards Bradley at the moment because he's a strong tackler, determined defensively. Considering who he'll be facing as well, Anthony Elanga. That Trent Alexander won't be able to cope with the Forest wide man if he gets enough support, but Bradley feel as if capable one-on-one.
Might fall to Conor O'Brien. He couldn't control it. Shimikas away. Henderson. Love. Jota. Now Chiesa to run at Accrington Stanley. To find Darwin Núñez. He was tracked every inch of the way by Farrend Rawson. The Uruguayan blunted by the former Forest Green Rovers man.
Wanted more pace on the ball from Federico Chiesa. That's actually not a good pass at all. That's got to be 3-4 yards in front of the Uruguayan. He can then really get himself up and running, full steam ahead. I don't think then the defender Ferran Lawson would have been able to stay with him. Just got to wait for the football and then drag it along with you. Gives the defender the chance. Good block in the end.
Just about the halfway point of this second half. The damage so far done in the first. The goals from Jota and Trent Alexander-Arnold. The corner from Tsimikas in front of the Kop. Rawson's header. Henderson away. O'Brien gives chase. Both the captains who started the match having now departed. We have new captains in Seamus Keneally for Accrington Stanley, and Endo has taken on the armband for his club, just as he wears for his country.
Yeah.
It's one of the factors that many often think stands Liverpool in good stead for the second half of this season in terms of their title credentials, their trophy credentials, is that they do have so many captains within the side, or within the squad in the case of Endo.
Yeah, it's a Bosline, another person who's captain for his country, so he, along with Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold, has captained Liverpool a few times. A shortage of leader Mo Salah as well, experienced campaigner.
Jayden Danns, you could see in your picture a moment ago, getting instruction before an introduction, and we gather it'll be Rio and Gamoa who will make way. An afternoon that the 16-year-old will never forget. Endo. Stolen back for Accrington Stanley by Love. O'Brien. Endo stopped it getting through to the intended target, which was Tyler Walton, who has 3 goals in 2 FA Cup ties thus far, including a couple against Swindon last time out. And that's one statistic that is even Stevens, the corner count. And Anfield will rise here. What has been an impressive debut from that young man. 16 years and 135 days old. Rio and Gamoa, Liverpool's youngest ever player in the FA Cup.
Yeah, history maker for the football club, and a massive day for him. Just faded towards the end of the first half a little bit. He's not had much opportunity to shine the second. Valuable minutes. I mean, he'll never be as nervous again stepping onto a football field, that's for sure. If he ever was to start with.
A Coyle corner. Too much on that one. Two moments in the second half which will be firmly filed in the what if or if only categories for Accrington Stanley. Josh Woods hitting the crossbar and Donald Love heading over the bar.
Woods was a terrific hit, wasn't it? Well worked.
Chiesa trying to squeeze it in, but Billy Krellin did enough.
That was a lovely ball. Nice run from Chiesa. Ben Wood just did enough, stayed on his feet. Continued the arm wrestle, if you like. Yeah, it's good defensive play, didn't go to ground, and the goalkeeper does the rest. Chiesa, I think, was looking for the pass.
Punched away by Krellin, and effectively so. Dance featured prominently amongst the youth who helped Liverpool across the line to their last piece of silverware, Jurgen Klopp's last piece of silverware, the Carabao Cup last season.
Yeah, Dance plays with quite a bit of fire in his belly, puts himself about, and seems to be respecting the opposition he's playing against in a good way.
Bradley. '86 places in the league ladder between these two clubs. If Accrington can get out of here with the scoreline as it is now, that's a very respectable defeat, if there is such a thing.
Absolutely. One thing that the fans would fear most, the away fans, is a heavy beating. It sours the afternoon, doesn't it? Went to Anfield, had a great day out, but you lost 5 or 6 by that margin. It seemed to be on the scorecards at the moment.
Well, the Anfield atmosphere is fairly benign. The appetite from the Liverpool players not as intense as it might be to go seeking a third. Dance. Dance snapping in. Beyond Coyle. Brilliant work by Dance. Now Chiesa. Denied, but Dance will not be. Well, he started the move, Jayden Dance, and goodness me, did he finish it. Fabulous stuff from the substitute. And Liverpool have a third.
Well, there's the all-action Jayden Dance I was talking about. He's involved. Not a great pass actually from Diogo Jota, but look at him seize on that rebound, if you like, past two Accrington players, and there he is to snap up the rebound. It's a lovely way to pass to Chiesa, who I think once again should have done better. Not the greatest of first touches. Yeah, just a little bit away from him, that allows the goalkeeper to come out and smother. But there's Downs, the man on the move, the only one really on the move with any speed and intensity for Liverpool, and an easy finish, well deserved. And he knows how to celebrate.
And that should be that. The Accrington Stanley optimists sure will now be realists that this one is done and dusted. That's why the most likely man to score is withdrawn, Tyler Walton. And on in his place comes Kelsey Mooney. Liverpool are going to make another change. Trey Nioni.
Done well enough, Wataru Endo. I would like to see him getting a lot more game time. And it's been a slight overuse of Ryan Gravenberch in the Liverpool midfield, and you're going to need as many destroyers fit and in form from the sharp end of the season. I think the Japanese international is deserving of more game time. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks, but once again another baby face entering the field for Liverpool.
Well, he was also a 16-year-old debutant in the FA Cup against Southampton back in February. He's now the grand old age of 17.
Certainly different to the other two youngsters. Nguam is more of a runner with a football, tricky winger. Trey Yoni's those guys in quite sure what his best position will be moving forward, but composed on the ball, nice and calm with his passing, precise.
That was a lovely touch back into the path of Quansah by Bradley. Chiesa might get another opportunity here. Giving the impression, Federico Chiesa, like he's trying to force it a little bit. Over-eager.
Yeah, everything at the moment just done with a little bit too much speed. I suppose that's a sign of the anxiousness, lack of game time and looking to impress.
Less haste.
Yeah, more productivity. Unfortunately, he's playing second fiddle to a guy called Mo Salah, who's not off the boil, is he, at all?
Ripping up the record books on a weekly basis, seemingly. Overtaking the man who got 2 goals the last time these two sides met in this competition, Billy Liddell. Chiesa up and running for Liverpool. Elliott. Nothing Downs could do with that.
As soon as I saw Elliott coming up on the right side, I thought this ball has got to be perfect for Elliott to actually hit it with his left foot. Once it went that little bit wide of his teammate, it was always going to be difficult.
Woods down the line. Quansah. As we approach the closing stages here, it's clear to see what Arne Slot's strategy was in terms of who needed minutes and who needed how many of them. We've still got Darwin Núñez out there, we've still got Diogo Jota out there. A block from Holly, as we see who has been firing the most accurate passes in the second half. Alexander-Arnold has been off the pitch 20 minutes and he still tops the charts.
Well, that's whole game stats, isn't it?
Yeah.
No surprise when he's at the top of that list. Consistent, top-class performer in the passing stakes. Yeah, Jota needs the game time. That goal will do him a lot of good, of course. We know he can score at the top level.
O'Brien. Well, he said it before, Arne Slot, these Accrington Stanley players have come here knowing this is their cup final. They've approached it as such. It's been the talk of the Wham Stadium all week. And Liverpool need to match their intensity and then tap into their quality, and they've been able to do that. First goal, a textbook counter-attack from an Accrington Stanley corner in front of the Kop. The second one, a piece of individual brilliance from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and the third one, the drive of Downs at the very heart of it after coming off the bench. or had too much of a hold of Jadon Danns. Ben Woods will fire this one in. On by Rawson, and brought in by Kelleher. Objective number one for Accrington Stanley is to stay in the Football League. Their story is a fabulous one, a footballing fairy tale. Back in the early 60s, they had to resign from the Football League because of financial irregularities. The club was reborn, rose again. 2004-05 season, the now departed John Coleman, their manager, brought them from the Conference into the Football League. The second spell took them into League One. They were relegated a couple of years ago, and so important that they are able to keep hold of their league status for the existence of their club. They bobble along at the bottom of the footballing food chain, but do so very well.
Well, money's garnered from this FA Cup run, culminating, it seems, with a defeat at Anfield this afternoon. Will certainly help them moving forward, and just gives them a little bit more purchasing power, doesn't it? 2 new faces, perhaps, to bolster their end to the season campaign.
Young John Doolan, who took over in March, has had a very difficult start to the season. They've had a very good start to this calendar year 2024, and this shouldn't throw them off track. Losing to the best side in the business at the moment. Elliott lets it run. Bradley not giving Orr a moment of space, in fact not giving him enough space. Free kick to Accrington Stanley. O'Brien. Shimikas. O'Connell. And away. Well, there'd have been a little bit of fear from Liverpool as to how this one might have gone if it all went pear-shaped. There'd have been hopes from Arne Slot as to what he wanted to achieve here, as well as progression. I think he's probably ticked most boxes, hasn't he?
Yeah, very gratifying performance. The situation, find himself lots of game time for players, and hopefully nobody injured.
Nunez going to ground. Jota. Chiesa. And Chiesa hits the foot of the post. He's denied a first for the club, and Liverpool denied a fourth on the afternoon.
He does like that move, doesn't he, Federico Chiesa, cutting in from his right onto the left through the legs. Not quite a clean strike, just dragged it a little bit. Goalkeeper's wrong-footed, but he would have seen that, the Italian, that all the way that was hitting the post.
Well, he'll need a run of games to get up to speed, to show anything like the sort of form that helped power Italy to the European title against England at Wembley in 2021. Most of his football has been taken away from him since then by injury. Effect from range by Wally, straight down the throat of Kelleher.
Nice clean strike. Yeah, that was travelling, good technique, kept it down well. He's played well, hasn't he, the veteran?
Dance. O'Brien. Dancing with Shimikas, pirouetting. And the Greek. It's the free kick for Liverpool.
Not sure who was holding who there. How do you work that one out?
5 minutes added on.
Argentinian quick step. Chiesa finds the corner, and he has his first for Liverpool. He'll enjoy that. He needed that. Liverpool 4, Accrington Stanley 0.
Well, what a big moment, Federico Chiesa. Not the cleanest of strikes. It bobbles about 3 or 4 times, but it's past the goalkeeper. Go through the legs, yeah, it does. I mean, how often do we see that? Zacco, who's had a pretty good afternoon, the unfortunate man, the goalkeeper can do nothing about it. The second one in off the post, Billy Krellin can do nothing about it. Enough power behind it, and the goalkeeper perhaps just a little bit slow to move over, thinking that that's going to get blocked. Celebration is full of relief for the Italian. Yeah, that says, oh, finally arrived. A goal at the top end.
Well, I talked a moment ago about the boxes that Arne Slot wanted to tick here this afternoon. That's another big one done. Chiesa scoring for Liverpool. The numbers in terms of the scoreline, pretty much an irrelevance, and then this game has long since been won for the men in red. But that's a big bonus, a big plus point. Inside 5 minutes of added time now. Elliott, Bradley.
Oh, that's overhit.
And Elliott, in keeping it in, has presented it to Coyle. Naoni. Bradley, beyond words, looking for Nunez. That would be the final box to tick, wouldn't it, for Liverpool,
Nunez
if they could
goal.
get one for Darwin Nunez.
Bradley's great at this. Just clipping the ball through the opposing player's legs, or just around against Man United, I think, when he came on, the latter part of the game. Who against now?
Eventually the goal coming for Federico Chiesa, but it wasn't for a lack of trying. He's had more efforts on goal than anyone else out there this afternoon. Four goals, 4 different scorers. You see on your picture one of them. A reminder for Arne Slot, who's alongside Johnny Heitinga there in the Liverpool dugout, that there is strength and depth indeed at this football club. Kelleher can watch that one sail behind. Well, no one, I think, Effin, will be too massively surprised to see this scoreline, the level of Liverpool's superiority over opposition from 86 places below them in the league ladder. And I think as far as Liverpool are concerned, given the fact that they drew here against Manchester United, that they lost against Spurs last time out, and that they've been able to rest so many, get back to winning ways, and just steady the noise about fatigue and all those sort of things that were starting to build up.
Yeah, being able to give so many of your regular first team players a few days off, you'd imagine, is is big at this time of the year, so you can almost treat it as a non-game, can't you, for the squad, really. There shouldn't be any fatigue after this game. They've largely been able to play at their own pace, not been forced into doing any kind of defensive work, really.
Another look at the outgoing Accrington Stanley chairman. I think he spotted himself on the screen there, hasn't he?
He's happy. He's just thinking about, what am I going to do with all this cash?
Very happy retirement.
Leave the club in a good state.
Yeah, he's not that sort, is he, at all? He will very much reinvest it and leave the club in good hands.
You have to, don't you? You have to take advantage of these windfalls and whatever you can do to improve the training facilities and the ground you play at. It'll be remembered by fans long after you've gone.
Well, Accrington, of course, in its previous guise, one of the founder members of the Football League. It's a proud old name in a real footballing hotbed, the Lancastrian Hills, the northwest of England. Elliott, hotly pursued by Coyle.
It's a defeat, isn't it, for John Doolan's men, but it's not a hefty one, by no means embarrassing. 4-0 is nothing to be ashamed about. Good day's work for Liverpool, players and staff alike.
So Accrington Stanley's cup run comes to an end at Anfield. They've